Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a science fiction subgenre defined by the high-tech, low-life ethos, where advanced breakthroughs like artificial intelligence, cybernetics, and virtual reality coexist with extreme poverty and social decay. In these near-future dystopias, weakened governments have been replaced by predatory megacorporations that control all resources and information. This power imbalance creates dense, overpopulated megacities, characterized by a neon noir aesthetic, brutalist architecture, and constant pollution. Philosophically, the genre explores transhumanism and identity, questioning whether humanity remains intact as the boundaries between biological life and digital machinery blur. It serves as a stark critique of late-stage capitalism and the potential for technology to deepen social inequality rather than solve it. Steampunk. Steampunk is a subgenre of science fiction and a retro-futuristic subculture that incorporates technology and aesthetic designs inspired by 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. The aesthetic is typically set in an anachronistic Victorian era or a fantastical alternate history version of it, posing the question of what the world might look like if steam power had remained the dominant technology. This results in a style that combines ornate Victorian elegance with intricate and visible mechanical elements such as exposed gears, cogs, pipes, and brass fittings. The aesthetic heavily features materials like brass, copper, polished wood, leather, and glass, while avoiding plastics and other modern synthetics. These elements are applied to everything from machinery and vehicles such as airships and steam-powered automatons to everyday objects. Solarpunk. Solarpunk is a genre of speculative fiction originating in Brazil around the late 2000s that focuses on renewable energy, living in harmony with nature, and the better future envisioned through both. Solarpunk also emphasizes handcrafted wares, as opposed to mass-produced products, and community. The punk in solarpunk comes from the genre's anti-authoritarian and anti-capitalist nature, as well as its strong focus on community and prefigurative politics. At its core, solarpunk is a vision of a future that embodies the best of what humanity can achieve. A post-scarcity, post-hierarchy, post-capitalistic world where humanity sees itself as part of nature and clean energy replaces fossil fuels. Seapunk. Seapunk is an internet aesthetic and electronic music microgenre that originated on Tumblr and Twitter in 2011. Its aesthetic is defined by an aquatic theme fused with imagery from 1990s cyberculture, including early 3D computer graphics, tropical scenery, and nautical motifs. The visual identity often features a bright color palette centered on shades of turquoise, cyan, and aquamarine, applied to digital art, fashion, and music videos. The term began as an inside joke and internet meme before it was adopted by a collective of artists and musicians. While it had a brief period of mainstream visibility in 2012, Seapunk was primarily a short-lived online phenomenon whose visual language became more concrete and influential than its musical style, directly informing subsequent internet aesthetics like vaporwave. Aetherpunk. Aetherpunk or arcane punk is probably one of the most diverse punk genres. High fantasy magic creates technology more befitting of a sci-fi world, from magical skyships to magical powered weapons. Architecture has guiled gold, enchanted lighting, stained glass art, and ancient pagan imagery. Think Asgard from the Marvel franchise. But, most importantly, it is a rather new genre that is similar to solarpunk, as the punk doesn't come from its dystopian social exploration nature, but instead its utopian social elevation nature that looks to help people who are suffering and bring a world that is inherently good. Utopian fiction can still have negative themes such as Adventure Time's Lich, which acts as the antagonist and is usually in the form of a Dark Lord like Lord of the Rings. Atompunk. Atompunk is a retro-futuristic subgenre centered on the atomic age, 1945 to 1969. It envisions a world where nuclear power became the primary energy source for all technology. The aesthetic features googie architecture, chrome surfaces, bubble domes, and sleek, thinned vehicles. The genre explores the contrast between technological optimism and Cold War anxiety. While the surface depicts a utopian world of tomorrow with ray guns and moon bases, the punk element highlights darker themes. These include radioactive fallout, government surveillance, and the threat of nuclear war. Unlike steampunk's brass or dieselpunk's steel, Atompunk focuses on plastic, glass, and the glow of radiation. It remains a critique of mid-century social conformity and the era's naive belief in clean nuclear supremacy. Dieselpunk. Dieselpunk is a retro-futuristic science fiction subgenre that merges the technology and aesthetics of the interwar period, spanning roughly from the 1910s to the 1950s, with speculative, often alternative history elements. The genre is characterized by its focus on diesel-powered machinery, industrial settings, and influences from Art Deco. It often explores themes of war, espionage, totalitarianism, resistance, and the societal impact of technological advancement during this specific historical era. While the name implies diesel technology, the aesthetic also encompasses other industrial advancements and the cultural shifts of the early to mid-20th century. Biopunk. Biopunk is a derivative genre of cyberpunk which focuses on the implications of biotechnology rather than cyberware and information technology. Biopunk narratives often revolve around hacking biology, altering DNA, creating synthetic life, or merging human and non-human traits. Common themes in biopunk include genetic modification, engineered humans, designer organisms, or living technology, corporate control, powerful biotech companies monopolizing genetic resources, biohacking and DIY science, underground labs and rogue scientists modifying life outside the law, body horror, disturbing mutations, failed experiments, or invasive bio-implants, ethics and identity, questions about what it means to be human when biology can be rewritten. If you love this content, hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next video.